So, yeah, and the energies that we're moving into are out of duality. So, the general concept is that.
Yeah, I was going to tinge off on that. Is that that's why we've come down to physical form. Because up there, it's butterflies, rainbows, and bunny rabbits. You're living in a constant state of bliss. And we've come down not only to this planet, but other planets going, hey, look, contrast, let me go down and experience that. That's the purpose of being here. Because as you say, shifting matter here in a tangible state. Because yes, there is healing on the other side, and it is definitely a broader perspective, but to be here is a real gift, because there's so much that we can accomplish while clearing out so many of our paths, karmic paths, healing, whatever we need to do. But that's why we've come down to experience contrast, because there's constant yin and yang in this earth form. There's good, there's bad, there's your duality, but it does exist. That's why we're here. Otherwise, what could we learn, right? A child learns the stove is hot and they burn their hands. Not when mommy says it's hot. What could we learn on the other side without experiencing? We learn through experiences. So that's really why we're here. It's kind of like when people start kicking and screaming, going, my life stinks. Yeah, okay, but you've created that. So now uncreate it and create something different. That's the gift. And
realizing it's the gift.
Yeah, well, realizing, but then doing something about it.
Yeah,
we have that power. That's what it is. We have that within us, and that's exactly what you were saying.
To create and uncreate.
Yeah, and then I'll talk about the calling in the angelic forces to help you, which is another whole thing. It's awesome.
Well, thank you. That's actually the perfect segue. So,
I keep going, yeah.
This is Mary Beth, and she's here to talk about the angelic realm.
Yes.
And you have a workshop coming up as well.
Yeah, actually, the first and third Tuesday of every month, beginning since August, I've been here doing an angel communication workshop, and Steve's been on the other side doing channeling. Actually, this Tuesday would be the third Tuesday of the month. Okay, good, got the numbers right. And we're going to be doing dark versus light, and then the last part of that angel series in the beginning of December will be channeling. We'll be channeling. I'll teach you how to channel. I will channel. I usually channel the archangels. Usually Michael and Ariel and Gabriel come through, and then I can teach you how to channel. And we look at all forms. We'll probably run it again. I'll speak to Reverend Danielle, see if we can run the series again. We've done scrying, automatic writing, work with cards, psychometry, which is a lot of fun, reading energy and objects. It's all ways to connect, to teach ourselves that we all have the ability to connect to the other side. It's whether or not you believe it, and it's now that you have like an instrument that might work well for you, it's a way to connect and then go further and open up. Because we all get these intuitive hunches, but most people, I would say for the average, kind of go, oh, that's just coincidence, or we poo-poo it away. So the purpose of the workshop is to teach you that trust, if it feels good, it is. If it feels funny, it is. If it feels indifferent, it is. If it feels like you're getting a message, you're getting a message. It's to trust yourself. That's really what the purpose is. So, if you'd like to join us this Tuesday. And then I'll go further?
Yes.
Okay.
Take it away.
Take it away. So I am Mary Beth Murphy, and thank you for letting me be here and speak. And your meditation was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
My stomach was growling, sorry.
Thank you.
I was sitting next to him like, oh.
Organ music, we love that.
My passion is angels, is talking about angels, teaching people how to connect to the angelic realm, because angels rock. It's easy. It's just the easiest way to say it. They are your best friends. And for the purpose of this talk, I will focus more on your guardian angels and archangels. There are many, many, many different realms of angels, but to keep it simple, we're just going to go with guardians and arc, because other than that, I'll hurt your head, because it hurts mine. But we do have guardian angels, and our guardian angels are here to help and guide us. They are what I call your best friends. They are here to take you on, help you on your earth journey. Most of us have 2, some have 1, some have 3. The number actually doesn't matter. It's just when you were on the other side, your angels joined up with you. I don't know when they did. That question has not been answered to me just yet. So when I do cross over, I got a list of questions to ask them. I want answers. I'm sure I'll get them as soon as I go. But the thing is that they are here to help you. And basically, you've planned out your entire life with your guardian angels. You actually have. So anyone ever have that feeling of deja vu before? Yeah, okay. Deja vu actually is we say like, how could I have this feeling of meeting this person or being in this spot and I know consciously I've never been here. It's because we've actually planned out our life beforehand. And that's what it is. It's your higher self, your angels giving you that information going, you actually have, you're here because you've planned this out before, and that's that connection. It's a subtle connection. I've had deja vu like lasted for like an hour. It's like, wow, this is trip. It was really cool. And I could actually predict what was going to happen seconds before it happened. It was the most, it was awesome. I was like, I'm gonna do that again. It was like a really cool roller coaster ride. But the thing is that you've planned out your life before, and they're giving you that message that you're on the right path. So I always look at it as deja vu, as checkpoint, you're on the right path. So it is a connection to tell you this is what we've planned. Now sometimes people come to me and they say, because I do a lot of readings, they come to me and say, well, I moved off path, or I did a U-turn, I got to turn back and go back around, or everything is as it should be. There is no really wrong path. We make choices every second of every day. And those choices are, if you make them for your highest good, that's exactly what the outcome will be. If you make them in fear, that's exactly what the outcome will be. If you make them in revenge, so to speak, that's exactly what the outcome will be. But just because you've made that choice and the result of that choice is coming back to you, like what you say, instant karma or instant manifestation, doesn't mean that you can't make a new choice. So you're never off path. You're always just learning and experiencing. And to go back to what I said before, that's really why we're here. So if you feel that your life is not going the way you want it, or you feel like you're missing out on something, then actually work on asking for help. And that's the #1 key with angels. They're there. You all have at least, as I said, 2 guardian angels working with you, guiding you. They're there. Now, they will never interfere with a gift that we all have called free will, and I'm sure you've all heard of it. Everyone here has heard of free will? Yes. It is a gift. We are so free that we can choose bondage. That's how free we are. We can make any choice we want. And we see some people in this earth world not making probably the best choices. But that's their choice, to not make a good choice for themselves. But even in that, we have no right to judge that, because we might not think it's their best choice, but how do we know their life paths? How do we know why they're there, why they're here? What are they supposed to learn? Now, if people are taking out other people in gunfire sprees and putting planes into buildings, all of us can look at that and know that probably wasn't the best choice. But still, they're on a path. And everybody that passed away in those experiences was on a path. We actually have no right to judge. The way to heal everything is through love. Now, that in itself is a pretty big statement to make, but it is the truth. How do we go about that is exactly what we're doing here. Sending out those radiance, what your meditation opened up with, and sending out that love. If we can all focus there, and that's really what 2011 and 11/11, 11 and 2012 is all about, is where we're going. But the angels can make that journey. We can actually send our guardian angels to go work with other people's guardian angels to get them to maybe adjust their way of thinking or know that love is the answer. So asking is the biggest thing here. Asking for whatever you want for your path. Asking whatever we want for the world to happen. Asking our guardian angels, because they love us so much, they will not step on our free will. As for each one of our paths, but as a greater consciousness too. That's how much they love us. Now, some people have a hard time wrapping their heads around that, but I'll let you sit with that thought. But asking is the biggest thing. So, if you want, I always say start off small. If you're kind of working with this whole angelic realm thing, you're not quite sure how to handle it, start with a parking space. like, okay, Christmas is coming, and we're all going to have to go to malls, and it's all going to be kind of crowded. So ask for a parking space. So say, guys, I need a parking space. I always do that. And sure enough, you'll drive down an aisle, someone will pull out, and you'll pull in. Now, a lot of people say, so why are you testing your angels? I said, no. The angels don't need to be tested. It's testing the communication. It's actually for yourself. It has nothing to do with them. They're just sitting there going, yay, you're finally working with me. That's what they're excited about. Because they sit there. I always say, I use the analogy of, you just went on a major shopping spree, right? And you walk into your apartment, and your girlfriend who you share your apartment with, in my case, because I'm a girl. So your girlfriend's sitting there, and she's watching you struggle with these packages as you walk into your apartment, and she's saying in her head, wow, I really wish she would ask me for help. And you're saying in your head, why doesn't she just get above her butt and help me? She sees I'm struggling. And this struggling and battle is going on, and she's just watching you, and you're just saying, I wish you would help me. And finally, you actually vocalize, and you look at her and go, will you please help me with my packages? And she jumps up and says, I'm so glad you asked. And she takes the packages from you, and you're able to get into the house a little bit easier. That's the perfect analogy for the angels. They see you struggling. But if you say, take my burdens, take my packages, they will. The point is not to take them back. And that brings me to the next part of angelic communication. Once the door is open with your request, don't focus on it. Surrender it. Let it go. They got it. They actually know what they're doing. It's amazing. When I always look up, I'm like, you guys really do know you really do know how to handle it. Because see, since you've planned out your whole life journey with them, they know the whole journey. But they can't show you the whole journey. You, as a human, because we are in a different space we are in physical matter, we wouldn't be able to handle it, all that knowledge. You know, people are just like, I want to know, I want to know, I want to know. I'm like, no, you don't want to know. Because what's the point of living then? What's the point of going to the movie if you know the end of it? You want to sit and experience the movie. That's the point of it. So they're not going to show you the whole journey. They'll give you a little bit, like a car's headlights. They'll just give you a little bit of it. They won't show you the whole journey. So is to surrender the problem. Let go of the how of how it's going to work out. As I said, I do a lot of readings, and people go, well, okay, so especially when it comes to a life partner, and the angels will say, well, be aware around this certain time. They usually don't give me names when it comes to life partners, because if I tell the person their name is Joe, every Joe they meet, they think it's the person, so it's like, oh, it's got to be Joe. And I'm like, okay, relax. They'll show up, the person will show up the way it's intended, the way it's supposed to play out. We all have lessons to learn, as I said before, and part of those lessons is our growth. And when we're ready and the other person's ready, our paths will naturally meet. So let go of the how of how it's supposed to happen. Let go of, you think, oh, well, if I go here and there and there and there, then it's going to happen. Because whatever we think of in our heads, we're very limited. We've come forth to be limited for the purpose of experience. We're very limited on some level, because just the way you think it could happen, it won't happen that way. I always say to someone who I'm reading, I go, think of every possible way that this could go down. It won't go down that way. Because that's the joy of experiencing. That's the joy of living, is like, oh my gosh, and then we were this way, and then at the last possible second, I bumped into this guy, and I tripped over him, and now we're married. I'm like, isn't that great? Like, that's the story you want to tell people. So that's the purpose, is to let go of the how. And I'm just using relationships because that's like the most common question I get. But it goes with careers, it goes with dealing with some emotional things that we're lifting, or if someone unfortunately has gone through a very intense upbringing and they have to heal from that. They're going to be giving you every moment of they're going to be showing you every step of every way. But just let go of when will it be done. Because we look at everything as a finite period of time, like when I get there. Has anyone ever said that? I say that all the time. Well, when you get there, guess what? There is no there. Because as soon as you get there, something else is going to come up, and you're like, well, I don't want to be here. I want to be over there. And then when you get over there, so there is never a final place that we're going to. It is a journey. And that has been a bit of a life lesson. I'm very impatient. I'm from New York. I don't know if you can pick up on it, but I have a lot of New York energy, and I just gotta get there. And I have been taught through my angelic connection, and I love them, they rock, that there is no there. And my sister one year gave me a beautiful gift, and I wear it every day. On the bracelet it says, "Embrace the journey." Because it is about the journey. It is not about the destination. There is no there. When you get there is probably when you get there, and then then that's just another state of consciousness, another state of another state of consciousness, another part of a journey. It's all it is. It's all journey. It's kind of cool. And my angels gave me a beautiful message to understand enjoying the journey, and I'll share that story with you. Is when I was back in New York, I had the luxury of pursuing something, a joy of mine years ago, that I've always felt like I was supposed to do, which was stand-up comedy. And I did it for about 7 years. And I still try to entertain people as much as I possibly can, but I don't officially get on stage. But I quit my job and went ahead to do stand-up comedy. And a lot of people were kind of freaked out for me. They were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I just feel like I have to do this." So I went back to I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone the night before, and I said to her, I said, "Well, I'm so excited. I want to just get from A to Z. I just want to get to Z." And she's like, "Well, Mary Beth, remember, you have to experience all letters of the alphabet. You have to go from A to Z." And I'm like, no, just Z. Let's just get to Z. Very destination oriented. And wherever Z was, I had actually no idea. I wanted to get there. The next day, I'm talking to a friend of mine at a job that I just recently quit, and she said, "Well, remember, Mary Beth, you have to get from all letters of the alphabet. You have to get from A to Z. You have to experience everything." And I stopped, and I looked at her, and I said, "Oh, someone said those exact same words to me the day before, and that was 2. I was like, "No, I just want to get to Z. Just want to get there." And she's like, we finished our conversation. I'm on the ride home from meeting her, and I'm on the parkway. There are 2 cars in front of me. The car in the middle moves out, and I come up on the car in front of me. Do you know what's on that license plate? From A to Z. FROMATOZ. I was like, "Okay, I gotcha." I hear you. Okay? See, they will get the messages through. They will get them through. Now, I was clued in enough to pay attention. I almost missed that license plate. That was 3. And that's how they work with me, is in 3s. I usually get 3 messages. I'm trying to chop it down now to 2 because
Because you're impatient.
because I'm impatient, right? but I'm trying to chop it down to 2. But and it's now, the more that I pay attention, the more the messages come through. Because I do, excuse me, I have let go of surrendering. I have let go, I have surrendered the issues to them. Because they consistently show me time and time again the how it's supposed to go down is something I could never possibly imagine. And it's awesome when I get to experience their gifts, their miracles that they like to show us. But if I can do that, anybody can do it. So that's part of my passion, is to teach people how to do that. Surrender the problem, and then trust that it's going to come through. It is. But because we are very destination oriented, and we're like, and I'm going to go back to relationships. Well, I'm 40 years old and I want to have a baby, so where is he? We don't think it's going to happen. We think it's going to, if there's a time schedule here. Or especially with a job situation. I've run across a lot of people in those type of situations with the economy and things like that. It's like I'm running out of my savings, or my unemployment's going to run out and I need a job and I haven't been able to find a job, and da-da-da-da-da. But see, what happens in that moment, because we are what you say, instant manifestors, our energy gets restricted because we start living in fear. We don't believe that they've heard us or that they're going to deliver what we need and want, because we're on an agenda. We think that, well, they're over there in butterflies and rainbows, and I'm down here in the real world trying to carve it all out, trying to make this happen, and they don't know that I have to pay my bills. No, actually they do know. See, they see everything. They know. But when we constrict in fear, we pull our energy in. And then I guarantee you, they're yelling at you, but you can't hear them because we are actually living in fear at that point. That's probably the hardest thing for people to understand because it's hard sometimes here on Earth. Earth is supposed to be fun, and I'm sure a lot of people are having a lot of fun in their lives. But the thing is that if you keep focusing on what you don't have or what is not in front of you, or the fact that I have to pay my bills, or the fact that there is no money, you are creating that. And that's where the angelic help can come into play, because they know what you need, they know what you want, they know what you desire. And if you let go for a moment and trust that they have your request taken care of, they will deliver. And the job will usually come in at the last minute. A job that you couldn't possibly imagine, that it meets all your criteria, because I've seen it happen time and time again, where people are like, you told me it would come in at the last minute, and it came in at the last minute, and I didn't even see this job coming, but it's exactly what I wanted, and the pay is better than I ever thought, and it is exactly what is going to serve you and help you on your path. But we have to trust that it's going to happen. Don't give, if you ask for something, and you surrender the problem, trust that it's going to happen, but don't give them an outline of how it should come into play. They know what you need, and let it go. And I can give you thousands of stories of how this has happened in my own life, when I literally have given up and said, you guys have to take this from me because I can't do this anymore. And as soon as I'd done that, I mean, just click, 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 things fell into place. And things that I literally fell into my lap. Like looking for a place to live, finding a job, selling a house, like big things. And just, the biggest story I could tell you is my house in New York. I was going through a divorce, and we had to sell the house. And I was clueless on how to handle this. And because of the divorce, it was a very difficult time. The house sold even before I hit the market. I actually had a real estate agent knock on my door. And she goes, oh, by the way, I heard your house is for sale, and I have a perfect buyer. She lives down this, like, I'm like, who are you? Where'd you come from? Unbelievable miracles, because I literally let go. And I can't stress that point enough. When you do let go, and you don't give them agenda, things will come into play. And then finally, following divine direction. Those little voices that go off inside of us. That's why I do the classes, because those voices are subtle, but I want you to pay attention to them. That go to that Starbucks, or take that class, or go down that street, or join that gym, or knock on that door and you don't even know why you're doing it, or talk to that person in line, you're like, but I don't want to do it. They actually helped me find a job that way. They put me in a store that I never would ever actually walk into, and told me 3 times very loudly in my head, you should ask. And I'm like, I don't want to ask. Like, no, ask. I'm like, no. And I heard, you should ask, you should ask, you should ask. And then I went up to the store owner, and he wasn't there, and I called him later, and I said, I'm looking for a position. And he said to me, well, it's funny you should ask. I'm like, yeah, it is. He goes, because we have openings and we never have openings.
Wow.
And then within 2 weeks, I was hired. I had to go through some little paperwork, and then I was hired. And I was like, and I would never, ever, 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 ever think of going into that store. But I went in there one day on a whim, or so I thought, to buy some incense. And I was like, and as soon as I walked in, you should ask, you should ask, you should ask. I'm like, stop it. But that's how they work. And these are just my own personal accounts, but I speak to people all the time, and a lot of people have the same type of personal account. So if the angelic realm is, you feel, is unreachable for you, or you feel it doesn't exist for you per se, or it only happens to special people, I would encourage you to wipe that thought out of your head, because that is not true. The angels are there for everybody. Your guardian angels are with you 24/7, 365 days a year. And they are only assigned to you. Okay, so if you think of all the billions of people on the face of this earth, and every single one of them has at least 2 angels with them, that's a lot of angels. but they're only there to work with you. They are your guardians, period, end of story. Now, for a moment, I'll touch upon archangels. Archangels are omnipresent. They can be with everybody at the exact same time. So, and you can actually have a guardian angel that is an archangel because the archangels are omnipresent. Just to lay it out in basic terms, basically the archangels are kind of like the managers. They have specific responsibilities, but they oversee a lot. And they do work with your guardians. Now you have spirit guides as well, which is another part of your spiritual team, which I won't address today, but because they're not in the angelic realm, but they are spirit guides that work with you as well. So you have spirit guides, you have your relatives that are crossed over on the other side that can send you messages. Spirit guides, archangels, your guardian angels, and ascended masters. You've got a lot to work with. And the outline that I gave here for you as far as asking, surrendering the problem, trusting, and following divine direction can be used to talk to anybody on the other side. Okay? Those are universal ways to speak to the other side. But the archangels have specific responsibilities, and you can call upon the archangels for a specific request. Like I work a lot with Archangel Michael. I'm sure everyone's heard of Archangel Michael, and he rocks. And I'm sure anyone who's worked with Michael knows that. I do a lot of paranormal investigation. I love to kind of go ghost hunting. And cross energy over, though. Help them cross over to the other side. And I use Archangel Michael a lot in that. I do a lot of spirit circles where we talk to the other side and cross energy over at the end. But I love to go into haunted places and talk to the energy. It's just stuff. It's just energy. It's just not in physical form, right? Energy, 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 energy. But there's energy here, there's energy here, there's energy there, energy there. We're all energy. I'm sure this room is packed, besides the physicality that we see in front of us. So it's just their energy too, just as you say, in a different frequency. If you want to go to classic rock or jazz, whatever, it's tuning into that frequency. And that's the purpose of those 4 steps, is to tune into their frequency. They're working with us, but they're coming down to our frequency. We got to kind of step up to their frequency, and that's where you can have the connection. So it's tuning into that frequency, and the archangels is the same way to talk to them, is through these 4 steps. But ask them, too, for what you want. I use Michael for protection. So when I walk in, Michael carries the flaming sword of truth and shield to ward off negativity. He's in charge of keeping us safe and protected. He's in charge of a lot of other things, but just for today's purposes, he's in charge of keeping us safe and protected. And he will step in and help you if you're feeling unsafe. If you're literally in a neighborhood that you don't feel safe, and you walk in the streets and you get into your car and you feel like something's watching you or something's following you, a physical presence. Michael, keep me safe and protected. That's all you have to say. Michael, I need your help. Ariel is in charge of love. And I don't mean the mermaid. I mean the archangel. Ariel, I need help loving myself before I can accept other love in. Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, in charge of communication. Writing, all forms of communication, oral communication. So you know I was working with Gabriel today. Gabriel, come on in. Let my words come out of me. So you can, and there's, if you want to talk to me more about the archangels, I'll be in the back. We can talk after the service. And there's lots of books out there on archangels and all sorts of angels. But it is asking for their assistance. And all you have to do, you don't have to stand on one foot, you don't have to meditate. All you have to do is say, help me. Help me. I need some help. And be specific with your requests. I need help finding a job, and this is a job I'd like. I need help finding this amount of money to pay my bills, and tell them how much money you need. I need help finding a mate, and tell them what you want in a mate. I need help finding a new apartment, and tell them where you'd like to live. And you can't just sit in your space. You know, if you want to find a new apartment in a certain area, I encourage you to go to that area and actually search out the apartment, but they will guide you too. But ask. It's so simple, and you don't have to do it formally. You can say it out loud. You can say it quietly in your head. You can do it before you go to sleep. You can do it while you're at work. You can do it any time. Ask, 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 and they will answer. That I promise. So I do have handouts, but I'll hand them out at the end of service, and it gives you the 4 steps to kind of review what we had, so you have it in front of you. But if anyone has any questions? Yes.
Have you ever visualized angels or archangels, and if so, what do they look like?
Oh, well, my angels always have wings. Now, from what I understand in all my research, angels don't necessarily have wings. We've seen them on the walls and paintings and things with wings, but their energy is so expansive that their energy looks like wings. But I love wings, so I always see them standing behind me. That's usually how I sleep. I put the angels, my guardians. I have 3 guardians. One is Archangel Michael, but the other 2 are Bubba and Luca. So, and those names have been confirmed, okay? I know they're weird, but that's the saying. Your angels don't have to have, Tom, Mary, Harry type names. So Bubba and Luca. If you want to know how I got them, you can ask me at the end. But I usually have them stand behind me and I wrap their wings around me. And that's the meditation I do. In my classes, I do an angel wing meditation. But that's how I see them. But Michael always, certain angels have certain colors. Like my guardians will always show up with bright white gold light, or I'll see the wings, or I'll hear flapping. I hear a lot of the fluttering of the wings, because that's what it means to me. But Michael always shows up as blue and purple light. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have actually seen him, like the way angels will show up to you the way you can accept them in. Okay, so angels don't have gender. They're not male or female, but my angels to me are male, so they're going to show themselves to me. Because Michael might look totally different to somebody else, because that's the way they can accept them in. They don't want to startle you. They love you unconditionally, so they don't want to startle you. So, does that answer your question?
Yes, and is there any significance to feathers, finding feathers?
Yeah. If you're asking for things in your life, and feathers to me are always their connection. I was working with Michael very strongly on something, and I was at Costco one day, another favorite place of mine, and I came out, and I got in my car, and I was looking around for my keys, and I thought, oh, maybe I dropped them out, and I opened up my car door, and I looked down, and there was a purple feather.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, that was not there a second ago. I just got in my car. So I was like, so feathers will mean something to you. Yes. Yes.
Question, do you use different guardian angels for certain jobs and then the archangels for harder jobs? Or
No,
how do you know? Do you call everybody in? Or?
You know what? And sometimes I just go, all right, anybody upstairs that'd like to jump in and help me, come on down. You don't have to stand on the ceremony. You have to remember your guardians are connected to you, so if you feel comfortable starting there, then start there. If you want to work with the archangels right away, go right ahead. Or if you get confused, a lot of people is like, well, I don't want to upset anybody. You have to remember the love that they have for you is unconditional. There's no condition to their love. So it's only what we put into it sometimes that we look at things differently. So whatever feels comfortable. If you just want to say any angel that'd like to help me right now, I'm open. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay, and you also said something about, I can't remember who said it, about when you make a request to release and let it go. But sometimes answers come in if you're researching and put energy into it, don't they? I mean, just how do you know how to balance whether you're looking for an answer to help?
Well, if you're researching, how are you researching? Are you researching with fear as your intention? Are you researching in anxiety? Or are you just researching because this is fun?
I see.
It's your energy behind it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because if you're researching in fear, you're constricted at that point. That's like when people are like up against a deadline, or I need something to happen by a certain time. A lot of fear sets in because we don't think it's going to happen by a certain time. I'm not saying it's easy. It's very challenging to stay in a place of openness when we're heading up towards a deadline. So if you need to research, it's the same thing as looking for a place. When we're looking for a place to live, you just kind of look around for a place to live and look at it in a place of expansion and fun and enjoyment, and kind of tap in and see what's going on inside of you. Am I getting it? Does this feel right? Does this feel right? But still trusting the fact that your request will be answered.
Okay. Well, in my example, or in my case, I'm looking for a career choice. I'm trying to find the right career, but I don't know if, by asking the prayer and just waiting for them to give me the information is enough. It doesn't seem like it's happening. So do I start doing other things, or I feel kind of stuck?
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're talking about. So that is because it's a very personal issue. We can talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know we're running a little bit short of time.
Oh, all right.
So we can talk about that personally. Because
Okay.
there's more than just what you're saying. It's multi-layered.
Okay, thank you.
And any more questions?
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. That was fun.
Yeah. Thank you for being so clear on that, because I think, it's something that we constantly have to remind ourselves about.
Yeah.
It's when we ask for help, allow the help then.
Yeah, we're all too controlling sometimes.
Oh, goodness. So are we passing around the, if anybody would like to offer tithing, we're going to be passing around the plates, the envelopes to do so. And while we're doing that, I'm going to talk about some of the events that are coming up here at the temple. Kim, you're having a Reiki class today?
Yes, I have a Reiki Level 1 class today, and it starts at 12:30, and it's a Level 1, so no prerequisite is required. It's $150, and it's 5 hours. If anybody's interested in joining, I still have a couple spots.
What an amazing day to take Reiki. The energy today is off the charts. We also have conscious eating for weight loss coming up November 16th. Miracles in Divine Creation, November 19th. An ET channeling event, which sounds awesome. I would love to come to that. November 20th. Discover the Missing Piece on December 2nd. And then everybody should come out for Shakti Tribe. That's going to be amazing. It's always amazing. It's just a beautiful, amazing group. If you've never experienced it, you definitely don't want to miss that. That's December 9th. And then the blending is coming up on December 10th. And I heard the last time that the event was amazing. So definitely something that I'll be trying to attend myself. That's on December 10th. Accessing the Akashic Record, December 11th. And then, of course, the huge New Year's Eve party that's going to be happening here. What a better way to ring in the new year than with like-minded souls, raising the vibration, ushering in the new year, the 2012. We will be having the event catered by Twisted Noodle, and there's also going to be a live band, so very exciting. Lots of fun, lots of dancing. There's going to be mocktails. And the price is actually very, very reasonable for a New Year's event. I'm surprised. So it's 20 individual and 30 for a couple. So just really a beautiful way to ring in the new year, and I highly suggest that.
We also have a workshop this morning at 11:30.
Oh,
Virtue-based abundance. It's a monthly workshop.
Oh, good. Good.
What was it about?
Virtue-based abundance in the Goddess Room at 11:30.
Oh, good. Thank you.
And it's a free workshop.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Good. Thank you.
And if anyone wants a handout on what I spoke about, they're on the back table, on the black table. I just put them back there.
So, would you like to play some more music, and then we'll end with the meditation?
Sure.
or-
Yeah, I'd be glad to.
Your beautiful flute.
Thank you.
again, just feeling your feet flat on the earth if you can. Your spine straight, allowing the flow of energy evenly up and down your spine. And again, just gently beginning to breathe in beautiful white light, the highest vibrational white light that you can imagine. And again, releasing, and just seeing it being released as a gray mist. Any dense energies leaving your body, any stiffness from sitting. Just breathing in this beautiful white light. Releasing, and again noticing any areas that are dark or under-energized. And just allowing those areas to become lighter and brighter. Allowing this beautiful light to dissolve away anything heavy or dense. Feeling your frequency lifting. Feeling yourself becoming more light-filled, vibrating faster and faster. Feeling the whole vibration of the room shifting as we breathe in this beautiful white light. Feeling very relaxed, very centered within yourself. And once again, opening up the soles of your feet, the bottoms of your feet, these beautiful chakras at the bottoms of your feet that allow you to connect deeply with Gaia, with the support that's always available for you, this nourishment. And just allowing your roots again to begin to grow down into the earth. Just allowing your breath to take these roots deeper and deeper as you breathe, feeling them spread out wide and deep like an oak tree. You are a child of the earth, supported and grounded by Gaia. And these roots dropping deeper and deeper. And dropping that tail of light again, breathing into your spine. And feeling that tail of light growing, descending down, down through all the layers of the earth. All the way to the core, to the heart, the crystal core of Gaia, wrapping around her heart. Feeling her love, feeling this vitality, feeling the beauty of this energy. She shares her love with you. And just feeling this energy beginning to flow back up your tail of light. To allow yourself to open and receive this gift, this abundant gift of Gaia that's always available. All you need to do is open. Up through the bottoms of your feet, feeling this influx of beautiful, supportive energy, this nourishment. Feeling fully grounded, fully supported, fully centered within yourself. Now beginning to see a beautiful column of white light beginning to descend down upon you, wrapping around you. Noticing this beautiful column of white light surrounding you, all the way infinitely high to the heavens, infinitely low down into the earth. And this beautiful column of white light becoming brighter and brighter. It's the highest vibrational white light that you can imagine. Feeling very supported, very protected with this light. Now, within the protection and the uplifting of this beautiful column of light, to your yourself or out loud, calling in your angels to be with you. I'm calling in the archangels to be with us. Calling in our guardian angels. Calling in these beautiful beings in spirit, these helpers. Feeling their embrace, their energies as they make themselves known to you. Maybe asking for a sign of their presence. To allow yourself to be enfolded in the embrace of their love. Always here for you. Whenever you should ask. You might be seeing beautiful colors of pink or gold, or allowing whatever the sign is that of their presence here, maybe a brush upon your cheek, or a message in your ear. Just feeling the sweetness and the love of their presence and their support of you. Just opening up to allow yourself to receive. Maybe there is something that you would like assistance with, or an area in your life that you're currently looking to shift, or something that you're wishing to manifest. Just asking them for their assistance now. Noticing the energy shift as you open to receive their help. Open to receive any messages. Just knowing that the help is here for you now. Your request, your prayer has been answered. It is so. So as you go out today into your communities, back into your homes, back out with your angelic assistance, knowing that you are supported in all ways, always loved, always connected.